Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. This particular response is about a phenomenon that has been building now since at least Joseph Smith's day, and some say it goes way back into ancient antiquity, which I agree, but I'm going to say Joseph Smith's day because my connection with this is going to be through religion. And I get it. There's some people who say, oh my gosh, do it scientifically. I'm going to do it with science as well. But I was born and raised Mormon, and that is the paradigm, the culture, my best understanding from the LDS side. And I do think there are some ideas that could be of interest to many, many millions of people. This is a conversation that we Mormons should be having, and I don't see it at all anywhere on YouTube. So I'm going to start the conversation, and I'm going to begin expanding it. And I'm going to have guests on my show where we discuss this UFO/UAP phenomenon. There are astonishing situations that have occurred through history. You know me by now as my audience. You know me by now. I try to be a straight shooter. I try to give you the actual situation, etc. I'm not going to change any of that for this UFO materials. This used to be a taboo subject, not today. We've had a change in attitude and approach. We've had a change in governments. It's going to be the religions that are going to have to seriously try to change, as well as the governments, because everybody appears to be lying to us. We get that now. But we have a new day in front of us, and it's going to be an astonishing, enlightening one. I want to share with you some of the information, and this is going to be just a general overview for an introduction to this subject of UFOs and Mormonism. It's going to be new. It's going to be different. I get it. There are people on both sides of this. I understand entirely. There are people who hate this subject. They scream, these are demons. They are out to destroy us. With the technology and the advance of their capabilities that has been revealed so far, if that was true, they would have destroyed us already, if that's what they were out to do. That's how vastly superior and advanced these things are. That scares people. I get that. I'm queasy about it myself because we humans value safety, of course. We value peace. We want to have our free agency to live the type of lives we wish to. I get all that. True story. I'm there with you. There are others who say these UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, they changed it from UFOs, unidentified flying objects. These are seen as angels or even the gods. Reminds you of Arthur Clarke, doesn't it? Any advanced civilization is going to appear as magic or supernatural to a more primitive species. The paradigm shift for we humans is that we are the primitive species. And you say, come on, our science has advanced into the nuclear age. We have these fabulous computers. We have worldwide communication. We have cell phones with instant talking capability, instant cameras and videos, etc. There's no way we're primitive. Compared to the capabilities that have been revealed, and I will talk about this, it's being talked about right now all over the YouTube, we really are cavemen and cavewomen. Now, this can be terrifying. We don't know the motives of this UAP, this phenomenon that is now appearing more and more likely to be very real. I want to share some information that I've received on this man, Elizondo. For those of you who are not keeping up with this, you do need to. This man is an astonishing, well-placed man for discussing this particular issue. This is his brand new book, Inside the Pentagon's Hunt for UFOs Imminent. This is not a joke. In the 1940s to the 1990s, even up into the 2000s, the crash site at Roswell, 1957, the Skinwalker Ranch, all of these phenomena that we just cannot explain. The idea that UFOs have visited us and that we have a craft, a UFO craft, and we even have alien bodies now. In fact, there are hints and ideas leaking out now that there is a living alien, and we are trying to communicate with that living alien, a non-human species that we have in custody. Truth is stranger than fiction. This is so bizarre, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this material. But Lou's book, I have not read it completely yet. I'm in the process of reading it. Like I say, this is an introduction to this incredible subject. This will change everything we know about ourselves as humanity, in my opinion. Yes. So this theme that Lou brings out, he is the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program called AATIP, AATIP, the Pentagon unit that researched UFOs. He was the head of that for like 8 or 9 years, now known as Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon, UAP. Elizondo oversaw counter-espionage and counter-terrorism investigations worldwide for the Department of Defense. He also worked for the Office of the National Counterintelligence Executive and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. This man is the real deal. He's connected. He knows lots of very important people. Elizondo is a proud Army veteran and later served his country throughout the world: South Korea, Latin America, the Caribbean, the Afghanistan, and other countries in the Middle East. He's a graduate of the University of Miami, where he studied microbiology and immunology. This book has been years in the making because the government has kept checking him. Talk about peer-reviewed. This has got to be the most peer-reviewed book in the world from serious government agencies. The information in this book that I'm reading thus far is positively astonishing. And I'm just barely into it. I just started reading it the other day. It is this book that caused me to realize this discussion needs to begin to happen. With Mormons, the rest of the world is already discussing it. True to form, the Mormon prophets and apostles, they are so far behind that they probably don't even realize the UFOs are real. So, Elizondo, as I learn more, I will share the information. But here's the good news. YouTube is absolutely a wildfire right now, with Elizondo being interviewed everywhere, and his experiences and his ideas. This is no longer a taboo subject. This is for real. Now, we are not being shamed. Earlier on, without knowing the true capabilities of the UAPs and without realizing what their intentions are, we still don't know. There is so much we don't know. But we were terrified as a species. Our governments were horrified. We have discovered it's not the Chinese, it's not the Russians, it definitely is not us. But they have found UAPs that absolutely defy the laws of physics as we currently understand it, and that can be spooky. They do have the capability and power, and they have done so to shut off our nuclear power plants, our nuclear weapons, to disarm them. And that might not be a bad idea, as far as I'm concerned, because of the stupidity the short-sighted of our humanity, we probably do need a little bit of help, in my opinion. We'll get to that in another video. I just want to introduce you to a few of the people. Keep your eye on this man. Buy his book and read it. It is amazing. The next man I want to share with you is Chris Bledsoe. This man wrote the book UFO of God, the extraordinary true story of Chris Bledsoe. Now, to understand Chris, he was just a typical Joe. He was a very successful businessman, and he lost it all because of his experiences with UAPs. He has had experiences and continues to have experiences with aliens. This man has been tested by the CIA, by the FBI, by NASA, by a string of professors, and by the church. His story is the most tested, the most completely looked into for the last several decades, and it's real. This man is one of the great, astonishing new people to help us with a paradigm shift that is here. It's not coming. It has arrived. UFO of God. Get the book and read it. The other person I want to introduce you to, this man is the genius of this group. Gary Nolan, Dr. Gary Nolan. You want the real deal, you memorize that face and go look him up. He is on YouTube in interviews. He has hundreds of scientific publications. He is absolutely involved with the UFO research, and his material is stellar. It is impeccable. This is the man that we do want on our team. We're very fortunate that we have him. Gary Nolan is incredible. Look him up. GarryNolan. I will be sharing much more from his astonishing mind. The next one I want to introduce you to is D.W. Pasulka. This lady is the best, most capable woman of exploring the phenomenon of the UAPs, the UFOs, with our religious experience, with our technology, and with our culture. Experiences with non-human intelligences, encounters. She is exploring the UFOs, dreams, angels, AI, and other dimensions, and she too is the real deal. She is a professor of religious studies at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. She takes no sass. She believes in no woo-woo. She is straight, razor-edged, sharp. She also is a valuable asset to this team that is being put together by the public of the world, because we want to find out just what is going on. Our view of reality is changing right in front of our eyes. And I will explain this in relation to Mormonism with what little I have, and I will begin this conversation with all the rest of you. Finally, last but not for, let me give this is an honorable mention. Jacques Vallée. This man is the godfather of UFO studies. He's been at it for decades upon decades. Dimensions, a casebook of alien contact, is just one of his multitudinous publications. The man, he was born in France. He is absolutely sensational. We will be bringing in a lot of his materials. Again, YouTube has information, extensive interviews by fabulous channels on every one of these people. Finally, last but not least, is the man, Danny Sheehan. Now, Danny Sheehan is a public lawyer, a public interest lawyer. He defends the public, and he's been on multitudinous, world-renowned cases as a lawyer. The interviews with this gentleman, Sheehan, Daniel Sheehan, are so extensive, are so breathtaking, are so mind-boggling. You look him up on YouTube and get prepared. You're going to want to sit down. Now, a word of warning about Sheehan. I get it. There are some people who are entirely put off by him. I get that. He talks. He is so full of knowledge. He has so many world-renowned contacts and people in all of the governments of the world. He is one of the best-known lawyers ever. And sometimes he gets elaborating and it just blows you. There's no way one man can accomplish what this guy has in 79 years. That's what I'm trying to get to. His information on the inside, from the inside, with the scientists, with the politicians, with the policymakers. Sheehan and his Romero Institute. Now, I might be saying this wrong, so forgive me. Don't quote me, but Sheehan was involved with, I'm going to say, the Romero Institute, the institute he founded. It might not have been that group, but a group of people on this UFO phenomenon called a World Council Conference of the religious churches, the heads of all the religions, and they said, this is not optional. You must attend this conference. Now, so far as I'm aware, all of the major representative religions of the world gathered at this conference, and these types of experts presented to them the fact that we are not alone in the universe. The UFOs are here, and they have contacted us. And the religions are supposed to get ready for the paradigm shift. It's happening right now. So, based on that information is where I want to bring up the culture that I'm familiar with, the Mormonism end of this. We can make a case that the UFOs definitely visited Joseph Smith. And I know 20 years ago that was kooky as all get out. My oldest brother has been telling me my entire life about the UFOs. And we mocked him and we made merry of him and all. Now it's turning out he was the one that was right. The Angel Moroni. These UFOs, they appear as balls of light. They travel in shafts of light. And from that light, beings appear. And they're very humanoid. This is what Chris Bledsoe has documented time and time again with him personally. Others have had that experience and have reported that. So this is the real McCoy. The idea of UFOs in religion is just taboo to so many people. On the other hand, the idea of the UFOs being angels are most welcome. Now, I have heard some Mormons proclaim, oh, well, if UFOs are real and they really do get here and they visit us, that won't shake our faith in our religion at all. But when you hear what these UFOs can do and what they are doing, get ready for the culture shock of your existence. It's going to knock you on your keister. It's exciting. It's terrifying. It's real. Now, I can't say that from personal experience, but the number of people who have the best credentials on our planet whom the UFOs are conversing with say that they are real. We have excellent video footage of UFOs now. Yes, they used to always, I hated it too. I'm with you. I get it. How come all of the damn photos are so fuzzy? How come we can't actually get a good picture or a good video? Every one of us have cell phones, man. The day of crap pictures and videos are over. If these things are real, let them see us. Well, that's our human arrogance. We think we're so important that they should go park on the lawn of Washington, D.C. and talk to us. You know? We're learning that maybe we aren't that important, but we are dangerous for our planet, and that may very well be what their incentive is to now start showing up and showing us that they can shut down nuclear weapons. Because what right do we have on a planet, the only one that we have ever known that actually can produce and sustain life, by what right, in our gross arrogance and pride, do we think we have the right to destroy it? In that respect, I'm really hoping there is outside help who will overcome the greed and power, hunger, greedy wretches who are running the show and calm them down. Sincerely. That's just me. I want to live a peaceful life. I want to flourish. I want to have freedom to study whatever subjects I want. I want to interact and have friends all over the world, etc. All of this arrogant posturing for power and money, that's so short-sighted. That is so short-sighted. So the UAPs at this point appear to me to be real. Now, we're going to get further and further and further disclosures. I'm well aware that there are many out there who do not like how the disclosure is happening right now, even on YouTube. That is because our government keeps shutting down the disclosure to the American public. But there are former government officials now, like Chris Mellon, the billionaire who is helping push the narrative along, who are opening up, even though they're being watched and they are still being controlled. There's enough information out there now that has been, say, declassified from top secret so that the public can enjoy understanding what's going on. There's enough information out now to establish that there is a higher probability that they are here than that they aren't. And that is very exciting. That's very interesting. And yet, it's intimidating. It's spooky because it's the unknown. And we as a society hate the unknown. We're terrified of the unknown. That's why every time an angel shows up, it always has to tell the person it's showing up to, fear not, calm down, stay mellow, keep calm. I'm not here to harm you. Because that's just something that we can't even grasp and fathom with our puny human minds, even though our minds are the greatest thing in the universe, or so we love to think. You see, we're so egocentric, We think we are the pinnacle of evolution or creation. Take your pick. And now we're finding out we're not. These alien beings, according to all the stories, according to all the experiences, according to the reports that are coming out, and it continues at an accelerating rate, we're not the pinnacle. So we're going to be forced to become a little bit more humble and use more humility than perhaps some of us want to. But what choice is there? Do they want to enslave us? I don't know. I have no idea. We're going to discuss the angles in relation to the religion that claims revelation from possibly these very beings. And that's going to make for some fascinating videos, I'm thinking. So this is the introduction to this topic of UFOs and Mormonism. I'm going to keep on researching and reading. I'm going to keep on sharing video clips, and I'm going to do some videos where I show some of the interviews. I'm going to try to get some of these people onto my program so that I can share their insights with you and they can share their insights with you, because this subject has broken out. It's opened up. The day of shaming, the day of being embarrassed or worrying about ruining your career, the government enforced denial because they couldn't get a handle on it. Those days are over. It's open. It's here. Just look up any one of these people. Danny Sheehan, D.W. Pasulka, Gary Nolan, Chris Bledsoe, and Louis Elizondo. Look up any of these people on YouTube. I strongly encourage you to, because they are sharing their information from a serious scientific, a serious religious, and a serious psychological perspective that I have never ever imagined existed, and it is truly stunning. It is truly enlightening in ways I could not have fathomed, and I want in on this conversation, and I'm going to bring you in too. So welcome to the new paradigm shift. This actually is the real thing. I will be back with more as I have a chance. Thanks for watching and your support.